Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video on the markets. A bit of an update. Earlier today, of course, I made a video on the inflation rate data and the CPI data, what to expect from, or what to expect from that, and why that mattered. And what I promised is that I would give you another update on the outcome and what that means for the markets, and just in general an update. So that's what we'll do in this video. I must say that I am a little bit tired. I just turned the volume up, so be careful that I'm not all of a sudden screaming in your ears. But I'm a bit tired, so I'm just going to take it a little bit easy. We'll look at Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, and then we'll take a look at some altcoins. And I also do want to say something about altcoins regarding a comment in the video earlier today. But we'll get to that later. First of all, when we look back at the news right now, first of all, Bitcoin is reacting very volatile to it. The news itself, I would say, is bullish. What we saw is that the inflation rate and the CPI were lower than expected. The core inflation rate month on month was a little bit higher than expected, but that's usually this is bullish. But what we saw throughout the market is that the dollar strength index actually was relatively bullish, which is weird. It should be bearish after that news. And the stock market was quite bearish, and that's also is also bouncing back quite a bit. This is basically what Bitcoin is doing, right? So sometimes the prices of assets can fluctuate weird like that. That's just the market. When you, for example, think about Bitcoin, if you get news like this, which is considered as bullish, that's also the ideal time to offload a lot of Bitcoin. Right, so what we saw is that we had a big drop, but then the bears, the shorters, were also not that sure about it, so they closed all their short positions, hence why we very rapidly regained momentum here. So now the story is that we are just chopping around, all right? We still have this resistance level around like 57,500 or so, which is our kind of main resistance level right now. And 56,000, which so far has also held up, at least on the 4-hour time frame. So what we're waiting for is some sort of a big breakthrough, and at this point of time, I am fully neutral. All right, I'm waiting for the breakout. I'm waiting for the strong confirmation, and until that point of time, I will open trades where I see trade opportunities, whether it's long or short. But I'm not taking any directional bias, all right? So I will not tell you right now, I think we're going to be bullish or I think we're going to be bearish. I think it's best to assume we're going to be a little bit more bearish still. And then that we can be more bullish towards the end of the year. But given the momentum we're seeing right now on the 1-hour time frame, I would also not be surprised if we go up to 59,000. But we'll explore that a little bit later. I also briefly wanted to look at this. Yeah, so the odds of the interest rate decrease have actually, or of a 50 base points decrease, have actually decreased, right? If you know what I mean. So this used to be 24%. It's now 9%. So what could have been is that the market kind of already priced in that the inflation rates would be lower than expected, and that we would expect a 50 base points decrease. So when the inflation rate was lower than expected, but not that much, it became more likely that we would just see a 25 points decrease, which is obviously less bullish than a 50 points decrease, if that makes sense. That could have been the case. In the end, it's still bullish, right? The 25% base points decrease, that's bullish. And the news in general of less inflation than expected is also bullish. But like I said, I would wait for some confirmation here when we're looking at Bitcoin. There's a very strong resistance level here. I would say at 57,700. So let me quickly put that on the chart for you, somewhere right here. I mean, it's a bigger level, but still, wait for one of these two levels to break. All right, if we're able to sustainably break above 57,700, we are probably going to be bullish, at least for the short term afterwards. If we'll drop down below 56,000 on the 4-hour time frame, we're probably going to be bearish. And at this point of time, because that's what I've said for the last 6 days or so, I still think it's most likely we are going to pull back and we're going to drop back down into 54 and 52,000 support level. So those are my thoughts. When we're looking at altcoins, I briefly want to say, look, when I say these altcoins are interesting, because I want to tell you which altcoins I'm looking at and which altcoins I think are strong, that doesn't mean you should buy them. All right. For example, when we're looking at an altcoin I think is quite strong at this point of time is Koti. That doesn't mean you should buy Koti here. Sometimes when I talk about these altcoins, I have already positioned much earlier, right? So they're not signals. They're not buy these altcoins. It's more of an indication for you to be able to filter it, right? There's a ton of altcoins. A ton of them look bullish. I just tell you which ones I think are bullish and which ones I think you need to focus on. So Koti, for example, I already entered earlier. So I think this is bullish, right? I think you need to keep an eye on this. I'm not telling you you should buy this right now. And there's some other cryptos like that. So for example, when we're looking at Luna Classic, I'm still bullish on Luna Classic. There's quite a lot of rumors about a major burn coming very soon. I think the market structure also is a bullish technical structure. So something like this, I think is interesting to watch. But would I enter right now? No. Injective also still relatively strong. Also talked about this yesterday, but yesterday I had already entered from 17.6. Right, so if you entered while I said it in the video, it would have been much higher. So then it would not have been a great trade. But still very bullish. Think you need to keep your eye on that. Rune also forming a bullish structure here is quite likely to go up towards that level at 4.25. Dogs was also showing some momentum, but it's very early, so we won't talk about that. Lastly, super bullish, no pun intended, but got a major bullish breakout here on the higher time frames, as you can see. And Fetch. I already talked about this earlier this morning, that I was relatively bullish on on Fetch. I still am. It depends on Bitcoin though, if we can actually pull up from here, if we can push up from here. But overall, the structure is very bullish. And if Bitcoin at least holds this structure right here, I think this is going higher. But those are my thoughts for this afternoon, for this evening. If you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.